One of my favorite prayers is that, God, when you move on Amber, I will know the future. Because sometimes Amber, I shouldn't say sometimes, nearly all the times, except when it comes to designing, her ideas are better. I'm looking for light. But the thing is that I've learned that I trust in my soulmate. See, that's the other reason why that I have a soulmate. Why I have lined my family up to put my family in a position to receive God's blessing. And to have it. I walk according to how God laid it all out. So here I am. I'm going through this whole thing. And I don't know what to do, but I prayed countless times. I'm like that woman who prayed so much that God had to answer in prayer. So, and he says, I remember when God told, he said, I heard you the first time, but we had to fight to come down there. We realize, and that's the story of Daniel, and Daniel was praying. It says 3 times that day Daniel prayed. And he says, we heard you the first time, but we had to contend with the prince of Persia. So there was a battle with these angels trying to come down and give Daniel the answer, but yet, what fueled or what gave the angels power? Your faith. Your belief in them. Your belief that God is going to send you an answer. Because God does not exist outside of us. And if God doesn't exist in our lives as Christians, where does God exist? In other Christians. There are those that God has set apart. But then the thing is that God is this construct that we formed in our mind. Because we cannot understand God, so we create an image of God. Because God is beyond our understandings. But I can deal with this construct. I don't care what name you call him. But the thing is, now I know names that he's not. Well, God's Buddha. Heck no. That is not. I know who my God is. And I know that God's spark. I feel it. That's what I want to regenerate. And so the thing is that I'm sitting there and I'm going through this thing. And so when Daniel was praying, and this whole woman, in the Bible, she was praying, what she was doing, she was giving that belief. The more you believe, the stronger you believe in something, the more earnestly you're going to pray. He says the righteous and fervent prayers. Fervent means with passionate prayers. Not, okay, God, I kind of, I got a DWI last night. God, I need you to get me out of it. Shut up. Don't even ask that prayer. You're stupid. Pay your fine, get over it. Deal with your stupidity. Now show your intelligence by not getting it again. God, I got a hottie. Quit asking God to solve your hot checks because you're stupid. There are things that God needs to be working on. He's had hard enough times getting everything else, and all of a sudden, you want to be stupid? I remember one time we were working on a car. Me, a father, and a son. And we're putting a fuel pump in it, David. One of those Chevrolets had a big fuel tank. They had to drop the fuel tank to get to the daggone fuel pump. And it had fuel in it. And it's over our heads. So here we are trying to hold this son gun up and lower it down because we done had the straps off. What do you think happens?
Spill fuel everywhere.
No. They get a phone call. The son answers it. Yeah, Mom. Well, I want pizza. That's what I want for lunch. So now there's 2 of us holding the fuel tank up, David. Well, I don't know. What's Dad want? Well, I want this. Well, you talk to her. True story. You talk to her. So, Carrie, what do you think the son does?
Hand the phone to Dad.
The son hands the phone to Dad, and the son and father are standing there talking to his mother on the phone, on speakerphone, with a 3-way conversation. What do you think, Monty's at? I'm holding this daggone fuel tank up by myself. I finally says, guys, it ain't that dang important. I'm done. I dropped fuel tank, walked away. I said, y'all do it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Oh, we need your help. Pick it up. This is the story of God. This is how we are. We're so busy. We're so occupied with meta, with our death. We have no life. We have no life. Sitting here looking at a screen and being engulfed by this thing, being engulfed by all the things that distract you from the real. What life is that? That is no life. That's your death. Isn't it funny that he chose that? So I'm praying about this thing. I'm praying for this answer. I'm like, God, because the thing is that sometimes I think that God's phone is busy. And so, if I call you once, I'm going to call you a couple more times just to prove to you I really want to talk to you. It's not a butt dial. Then after I've called you a few times, then guess what? I'm done. It's on you now. But the thing is that here it is. I'm sitting there. And I tell this guy, look, you got to have faith. Have you asked? Have you prayed about this thing? So long story short, the next day I'm out of the job. I'm working. So I'm up there working at this job on top of the hill, and I get a phone call. Something said, go answer the phone. I walk over there, and there's a dude. And he says, hey, Monty, you want to do this right here? And he says, I didn't want you to think I forgot about you. The very guy that I was wanting to text and say, hey, man, I hope you ain't forgot about me. He says, I'm not. He says, there is a job opening coming up in Springdale. And he says, what it is, you'll be working out of your home, blah, blah, blah. The job is the company that I want to do. And so he says, just whenever you're ready, he says, it'll come up, it'll be posted within the next few days. You need to be ready. And he says, you need to put your application in and all that. He says, you're pretty much, I will have the job. Okay. The thing is, it has conditions on the job. And the conditions are gladly things that I will do. Gladly to do this. Because if I can do this, my wife thinks that this is the best move. I think that this is the best move. God is opening doors. The very next day, I'm with this person, and guess what I get? Hey, Monty, it's open. The job is now posted. I can't wait to get home and put my application in. I get it all done. Guess what? I say, God, it's up to you. I've done everything. I'm either A, going to stay on this course. I'm going to do what you're going to do. B, you're going to open something else up. Or C, I'm going to get this job. But you know what? It don't matter. You're still God. You're going to guide me through all this thing because I know where my beginning is and I know where my end is. And I'm going to serve God in however I have to do it. It don't make me no difference. I used to have plans like, God, why did you take where I thought I was going to go at? He said, because that's not the direction I want you to go. I said, okay, God. Then show me the direction you want to go. Within a few days, I get pointed in the direction that he wants me to go. See, I want to live not just like that. Because if I lived just like that and did nothing else with it, it would do nothing except for me, and then it would end it for me. The thing is that how you do this, you perpetuate a thing. So in other words, you multiply. What is the best thing I can do is to teach you guys this. I'm not up here telling you of your sins. You got a conscience to tell you of your sins. I don't need to tell you, how bad Emily needs to quit envying Zeke's hair. It is quite admirable, I must say that. If I could snap my fingers and my hair be out long like yours at landscape, I'd be like rocket ponies. Yeah. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen. I cannot go through the Buster Brown look. It ain't gonna happen. No bueno.
Extensions, baby.
No, thank you. So, all that being said is I have devoted this part of my life. I've devoted the waking hours. I wait for them. Last night before I went to bed, Carrie, you know what I'm sitting there thinking? You know how terrifying it is to get up here every Sunday and do this? But it's gotten easier every time. God said, don't worry about what you're supposed to say. He told Moses this. Don't worry about what you got to say. Do you realize that when you worry about what you're having to say from this pulpit, God is not moving in it? That's flesh. That's your flesh. That's putting you centered around God. The thing is that I know that God is wanting you guys to hear this thing. God is wanting you guys to understand something because you guys are the key to territories that I do not possess the key to. You guys are going to go places and do things that I cannot go and do. For some reason, God has chosen you people to hear this message. But he also said, do not be hearers of the word, but to be what? Doers. Some point in this life, we're going to have to make a decision. I've made that decision. If I focused, Zeke, on where I was right now, I would be terrified. Absolutely terrified. 62 years old. I ain't got a clue what I want to do when I grow up. So the thing is that it doesn't matter, Kerry. I know who holds me in his hand. He's going to guide me. He's going to direct me. And I've learned to listen to that. He says, I came that they might have life and they might have it more abundantly. The proper interpretation is, he says, I came that they might choose life and choose to have a more abundant life. It's your call. It's your decision. But as long as you're trying to handle your world and your society by yourself, guess what? You're on your own. Make your decisions on your own. Take God out of the equation. Me? I know who's smart. And I know who isn't. All you got to do is look at my past and you can see the proof of a lot of my decisions. A lot of my decisions. You can see that. I'm going through my garden right now. I'm looking, going like, why did I plant this here? Why did I plant this there? Kerry, I know you never had that problem. You know, so now I'm digging up plants that I planted just a few years ago. Why? Because they don't work there. Well, and I asked this question. I said, does God really care about the minutiae of our life? And I come to find out that he does. The smallest thing he cares about. Why would we not empower the most powerful being in the existence of everything? Because we want to do it. I'm tired of we's. Think about this thing. You ever thought about this? When we describe something small in an old word, if you got a tall person and you got a short person, what was the word they used to call? Wasn't it wee? He's a wee little child.
A wee lad.
It's a wee lad. It's a small lad. You're always small when you're thinking of self. You think that you're big, but in reality, you're small. Me? I'm going to hook up with the biggest bad boy I can find. When I was a kid, I would do things like throw rocks and stuff. And there were bullies that I would cuss out down the road until they chased me. And I didn't have a place to hide. But I found the baddest dog in the neighborhood. This dog would bite anybody and everybody except for his owner. That dog was mean. It took me time to cultivate this friendship. I'd go get bologna out of the house. I'd get bacon out of the house. I'd get everything I could. So what I'd do is I'd sit there and I'd sucker this dog in there. I learned to not make sudden moves. But I knew that if I was one block away from you and I just cussed you out and I had a block to get in that dog pen, I knew that if I got in that dog pen, oh, it'd be on. Because they would not come into that dog pen. And I also found out that I could get in that dog pen, and if they would throw rocks at me, that dog did not like them. So that dog was trying to get them now. So I sit back there and I say, yeah, throw all the rocks you want to. He gonna bite you if you come in here. So I could get in his doghouse. Guess where I was? I was safe. But I had to learn how to make friends with the dog.